It's a strange time in life, and luckily we've been healthy, and I hope everybody else have been healthy as well.
Right, quiz. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm gonna Google them. Sebastian Loeb, 1 more year.
Hello and welcome to WRC Unfiltered. Now, I should have been joined at Rally Portugal by Mikko Hirvonen, but obviously under the circumstances we couldn't do that. But I have got him right here. Mikko, brilliant to see you. What have you been up to?
A little bit this and that. Like everybody, it's a strange time in life, and luckily we've been healthy, and I hope everybody else have been healthy as well. But yeah, more or less, kind of stuff around the house. I'm homeschooling the boys a little bit, or at least trying my best. And yeah, trying to be positive anyway, and see what the future brings.
I really think that the first thing we've got to talk about is the fact that you're homeschooling the boys. Is that sensible?
They might think it's not, and I think it is.
I don't think it is. Listen, we'll get straight into it. Talk to us about what you've made of the WRC year so far, because obviously we can only go as far as Mexico. This situation has put the brakes on everything. But going back to Rally Monte Carlo, we saw first of all that massive off for Ott Tänak, and you had a few big ones in your time as well. But that certainly was not the way that Ott wanted to start his career with Hyundai, basically writing a car off.
No, for sure not, and that was it was really high-speed accident. I mean, luckily they walked away without harming or hurting themselves, but shows how strong the car is. But somehow I've been with these cars on right now, what they are driving, like when the new regulations were introduced, I was kind of the cars were looking so extreme and so quick with all the aero and all this. And even though the off that Ott had is really nothing to do really with the aero, but the cars are really quick, and when something goes wrong, it often goes big time. But luckily there hasn't been so many bad ones at all, and they walked away as well. So it really good for them. But it was a scary moment for sure.
Do you know what the key thing for me was, and actually we were discussing this on site, and I was talking to Matt Wilson about it, and we used you as an example. Do you remember your massive off in Finland? And I know why you're laughing, because we've taken the mickey out of you, because your head was going left to right, and like you'd go that way, but your cheek would stay over there, and it was all just a bit of like we watched it in slow-mo. Now you look at, and this is again how the technology's come on. I mean, the Focus was a relatively safe car, let's face it, but how the technology's moved on in safety. You look at Ott and Martin's heads, they barely move, the hands device and the seat and everything. Keep in such a violent accident, keeping them, safe inside that car. And things have moved on from a safety perspective as well.
Yeah, for sure. They've been, everything has changed a lot. And it's funny how things move on. I don't know when the Hans device was introduced, maybe 2006 or 7, something like this. I don't remember exactly. But first, everybody were a little bit against it. Now it's going to be difficult to turn your head and all this and that. It's going to reduce your movement. And finally, for sure now, nobody would do any racing without it anymore. And that's been a big step as well for the safety of the drivers and co-drivers. But also, the worst thing is a quick stop. And that was something which didn't happen in Ott's accident either. So even though it looks violent many times, like my crash in Finland, and also I would say Thierry had a really bad accident in Chile. Was it last year? They look really violent outside, and for sure you may hurt yourself a little bit and be a little bit dizzy. But if you don't have this quick stop, it's not so bad. You just roll around and you feel dizzy. But many times the cars are so strong that you are able to walk away.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're rolling, it's just slowly basically coming to a stop. It's in a bizarre way, it's like hitting the brakes, but you're just doing it while you're rolling down the road.
Yeah, you're kind of slowing down in the wrong way, but that's one way to do it.
slowing down in the wrong way. Brilliant. Oh, I love it. I stopped, man. I just didn't stop the way I wanted to.
Yeah. You need to find. There's a clip. There's a clip from Henning Sulber. I think it's Greece or Turkey one year when he goes off the road and cuts a massive tree, and nobody's hurt. Obviously, the car is completely destroyed. But then the camera crew, when it gets there, Henning is just completely excited and tells you that that's how you cut trees. That's it.
Classic Solberg.
Classic Henning.
What did you make of Thierry Neuville? Because, like I said, Hyundai end up they've got one car at the other end of the garage that's written off. Thierry goes and wins Rally Monte Carlo, and he does it in style. And fair play to him. He kicked off his year in a good way.
I don't know. Was it maybe a bit nervous for him? Like there was a world champion now and joined the team as well. He's been many times. He's been really quick in Monte Carlo, and now he was just able to pull through it now and have a perfect start and just continued where he left off last year. Like he's able to challenge for the victory in every rally and now get a perfect start. So I'm sure he felt really good about it. Like I said, Oid joined the team, kind of get a new world champion as a teammate. So there's a bit of a rivalry there as well, I'm sure. So must have been feeling good to win the first rally.
What do you make of Sebastian Loeb's efforts at Hyundai? Because he's come from Citroën where he dominated, then he took a bit of time out, then he came back and he won Rally Spain, which nobody expected. I mean, that was, and to be fair to him, an unbelievable drive. It was a mind-blowing performance. He hasn't really gotten to grips with the Hyundai yet. It just seems that he can't. I mean, the Citroën was always very pointy. He could turn it in, it had loads of grip on the front, whereas the Hyundai is a little bit more understeer prone, and it seemed that Sebastian Loeb has just struggled to get his head around that initial understeer before it bites and turns in.
Yeah, it does look like it's been getting, he's been getting more time to really get used to the car. And it was really unbelievable when he came back to Citroën in Rally Spain a couple of years ago, and he just blew everybody away and just won the rally, even though he hasn't been spending time all the time with testing and rallies like everybody else. So it was really incredible performance, but I think it really shows that he just knows that car so well, and it still worked for his driving style. And he got all the people in the team he knows how the team works as well. And it's been really nice to see him going into another team and see how he's able to manage all the new people and all the new way of working as well. And I can't say that it's been bad, but it hasn't been so easy anyway. But I think one side has also been that he hasn't been spending so much time in a car anymore. I would say that Thierry has been the main influence at Hyundai developing the car, and he might have a little bit different kind of a driving style, and the car has maybe set up and built it slightly differently than what Citroën was. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time for Sebastian to find his way around it. And, now, like you said, when he's not spending so much time behind the seat, it's not going to be so easy to challenge the guys who are just living in a car basically all the time.
Let's chat about Toyota, and really Sweden, I think, has been their standout performance of the year. Okay, there's only been 3 rallies, and we don't know when we're going to get going again, but Elfyn Evans was just untouchable in Sweden. It was a very strange rally. It was a very odd rally. There was no snow, very little ice, and to jump in the car the way that he did, and the confidence that he showed driving that Toyota, I thought was unbelievable.
In some ways, I can't say that it's been surprise of the year, because we've been seeing kind of the glimpses of his speed and his consistency in the past couple of years. But somehow now it's been really incredible how strong he's been straight away in a new car. And something we've been expecting in a way. I think with Elfyn and Scott, they are really putting together a strong team as well inside the car, and they are working really well and strongly together. And what can you say? The team is really strong. They have a quick car, but now I think Elfyn has finally got into the position where he really feels confident, and he knows he can be quick in all the rallies, and we are finally now starting to see the results of that as well. in the last 3 years, it's been Oit, Ogier, Thierry, really, who've been fighting for the title until the last rallies. And now Elfing is coming up there as well. And it's not only them. There's been quick drivers, others as well. I'm not saying that, but those 3 drivers have been the ones who've been able to challenge for the title for the past 2 years, and they've been fighting for it. And now Elfing is coming as well, so I think Ogier is still as quick as ever. But maybe Oit and Thierry, Elfing, they are getting now the consistency on their game as well, and in that way maybe closing the gap a little bit with Ogier. But those 4 drivers are, they've been kind of the, the mark at the moment, who are really setting the pace and dominating the championship in some ways at the moment.
What do you reckon to Kalle Rovanpera's performance so far this year?
I think it's been really incredible. I don't think anyone expected him to be so strong and so quick, straight away. It was so funny. I did the safety notes for him in Monte Carlo, and again, I don't remember exactly. I think in the first stage in the dark, I think he was 5th quickest or 6th quickest. But it was really funny, like after the stage, like I think in the interviews as well, he's really giving himself a hard time if he's not quickest. And for him it was, first time in Monte Carlo with the WRC car, kind of with the big boys, and he was 5th or 6th, whatever, and really giving himself a hard time. I could have been quicker on there, and I was too slow on this and that. Like Sweden as well, like on the drive on the last stage against Sebastian Loeb, he just blew everybody away. And there's always the point that, where Ogier is really clever, that he is always thinking of the championship, and he needs to get the points. And Kalle, in a way, he doesn't need to worry about that. He just went flat out and bam, there you go. Just blew everybody away on that stage.
What about you? Because you finished 2nd in the World Rally Championship at arguably the toughest time. The competition was ultra stiff, and I'm not saying it's not now, but at your time it was. Were you happy with 4 runner-ups?
I'm happy about it now when the career is done. It's a few years back, so I'm now at the moment when I think about it, I'm really proud of my career, even though I didn't get the title, and it maybe annoys me a little bit, but it's part of life, and now I moved on, and I'm happy about what I did. But 4 times second, no, you are not happy about it, and it just makes you kind of want it even more the next year. That you think like, if I could say the bad word, I would say it now, but you just think like, damn, like I have to try even harder. I'm not gonna let it happen again. I'm gonna win next year. I'm gonna work harder, drive harder, do everything better than I did last year, and I'm gonna get it. And but then again, personally, I felt that for me that kind of mentality didn't work so well. Like I think, end of the day, I think my best quality in rallying was that maybe a lot of testing we did. Maybe I was good on a technical side. I don't know, but I was always consistent. And that really helped me to fight for the titles.
Who would you say now, Mikko, right now, amongst a lot of them, is the most impressive? Forget personal relationships, forget everything else, but who would you say, right now has impressed you the most and has the right mentality and the right approach to this year's championship?
There is 4 drivers, I would say. And, it's so difficult to point one. I think Elfin has maybe impressed me most, how he's been having the speed and consistency, and he's definitely made the step on, let's say, the highest possible league in rally. I think he's made his name to stay there now, and he's able to challenge everybody. So in some ways he's the most impressed, I think, or impressive in a way. But then again, Oit, Sebastian and Thierry, they can all do it as well. And Sebastian's been he's so clever fighting for the championship, getting always the points and so rarely makes any mistakes. And Oit has been incredibly fast. He's a bit of a, for me, still a bit of a wild boy in a way. That he's really quick, he can win every rally, but he's crazy sometimes with his driving as well. Seems like he's taking maybe a little bit more risks than others, but it seems to bring really good results as well. And Thierry for me, he's the fighter in the club in a way. He's been fighting for the championship for years now and ended up second, I think, 5 times. You know, even one more than I have. So I'm sure he really wants that. He really wants to get the title, and he can do it. And I really hope he can just keep on carrying on and doesn't give up on it. But like I said, they are all different for those 4 drivers. But for me, I think they're going to be the 4 ones who are going to fight for the title this year and, you know, hopefully next year as well.
Right, quiz. Are you ready? I'm going to fire some questions into you. Let's see how good your memory is on the WRC.
Okay, I'm going to Google them.
How many WRC starts did you have in your career?
152.
Oh, you were 11 out, 163. Not bad.
Oh, that's what I meant.
It shows an element of modesty about you as well, that you don't know that. I like that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. How many WRC victories, Mikko? You should get this one straight away.
15.
Can you tell me how many podiums you got?
It's the magic number, 69.
How many times did you finish second, seeing as this would have been the latest rally? How many times did you finish second at Rally Portugal?
3.
Correct. That's correct. What year were you disqualified from Rally Portugal?
2012.
Correct. Your first rally victory was Rally Australia 2006, but can you tell me how many stages you won at Rally Australia 2006?
9.
7.
Oh.
I think it's good. If you knew all this stuff about yourself, you'd be going, crikey, that fella loves himself a little bit, doesn't he? But you don't.
He's having a sad life.
You no longer hold the record for the most second place finishes in the World Rally Championship as a driver at the end of the year. Who holds that record now?
Thierry Neuville.
Correct. And be honest, are you a little bit happy about that?
Yeah. He might not be, I'm guessing.
Very good. I'll give you I don't know, 70%. So, Mikko, once we get going again, who would you put as your kind of favourite to win this year's World Rally Championship?
You know, in a way, I would love to see Elvin winning it. That would be quite incredible to see Elvin and Scott doing it. Like the long way he's been getting in the top level of rallying from Welsh, and I think now he is there. It would be fantastic to see that. But then again, I really hope also that because of the year has been so strange with everything what's been happening in the world, I hope that Sebastian continues for next year. One more year, and then we could have full season with all of them fighting for the championship, and maybe throw even Kalle and Esa-Pekka and Teemu in the mix as well. That would be something. So Sebastian Ogier, one more year.
Such a positive bloke, mate. It's brilliant to catch up with you. And I really hope, because we were supposed to do a few rallies together this year on Red Bull TV. I certainly hope that we get to catch up properly at a rally and you know, talk about it face to face and make some television. But Mikko, it has been absolutely brilliant to catch up with you, mate. Stay safe over in Finland, and yeah, I'll hopefully see you at a rally soon.
I hope so, and for you and for everybody else, stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you guys again.
Well, absolutely brilliant to catch up with Mikko Hirvonen. Now, we will be doing more of these, so make sure you keep your eye out for WRC Unfiltered on Red Bull TV. And of course, there's loads of content you can watch on the Red Bull Motorsports channel, so make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your company. We'll see you again soon. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye.
Watch WRC Plus on all devices. WRC Plus, all live.